Alright, get started, shall we? Oh. Okay. We are back and getting ready to go on the road. Okay. Hope everybody's having a good day. We're just gonna jump right into things. There's a lot of stuff that we haven't yet practiced, but we're gonna do that in the form of a full-ass run. So there's a bit of a trick making sure that I get skips as early as I can on some cases, where the auto splitter actually recognizes for load removal purposes when we are fully loaded, and that allows me to get some of the earliest possible skips on certain situations. Other ones, it's entirely down to game mechanics, my ability to execute. Slow Shadows 1, that's okay. Not here to really worry about that. Not quite time for jump. Good potion drop though. Got the jump, but not the distance. A little unfortunate, but good barrel kill overall, so that's nice. There's roughly a second and a half that bit of load time. Or you can actually skip. And there's roughly 3.5 seconds between this next we're about to encounter after the scene. Could have been better, could have been worse. All right. We're definitely going to lose some time here. I think that's okay. Seconds. honestly, not a huge fan of that. We're going to do a single reset, land ourselves back on the title here in a moment, and call that okay. We don't get better, we don't get better. But hopefully we do a little bit better. At one point I had the timings of this section down to a science. I was a little late on that skip. You can skip it as soon as his foot starts moving. This one as soon as the scene starts swinging back. Still not a sub 1 Shadows 1, but is what it is. As soon as his eyes go into the upper right corner of face, that's when you can skip that. And as soon as that text box disappears, you can skip that scene. When the chest disappears, that's when you can start trying for the backwards jump. As long as you air combo that properly, the potion will drop directly on you. That barrel kill was freaking terrible. But if you get a proper air combo on it, you can theoretically at least get a backwards jump toward the door. I've screwed that up both times. I've tried it today. That's okay. We pick the top option for easy simplicity. There is a slightly faster text scroll by switching, I believe, Selfie's option. But the difference is pretty minimal. And that gets us Dawn Route. Oh, come on. Oh my god. The clear was actually okay after that little bit there. But we're going to be even slower that time around. Technically speaking, you can get a sub 3 dark side. I slow as about a 3 or 48 to 45 ish. You actually execute things cleanly, getting to that point, and skip over the defense up. Use of defense ups eats up roughly 8 seconds of time. We have to use the strength ups, otherwise we're slower on the kill itself. That's losing more time than the 8 seconds. Actually drop those. Combo, nice. Step 1 on Shadows 1. You like to see it. Almost timed right. Okay, we hit the ground, which meant we weren't going to get the backward jump, but that's okay. Got the combo in one go. Alright. Trying really hard not to sneeze right now. Alright, that was a really good clear. We're a fair bit ahead of where we played here. Yeah. A little sloppy on that scene skip, that's okay. Alright. Should save some time here. Not going to be our best, but that's okay. Within 5 seconds of yes, that's something. Second little ripple off of that sun there gets us our scene skip there, and have this into Destiny Islands Day 1. There we go. Log here. Come up to our friend Daryl. Failed the lift the first time. Got too close to it. For our little jump skip. Tail claw. Jump to the tree. Cross. Ladder use. Grab the rope. And off into the water. Head to the backside of the island here. Thing. Fine. Fish there. And angling our keyblade swing such that it carries us log. And that is day 1. At the start of the second set of drum beats, hit that scene. Bird chirp that allows you to skip second castle. And full fade in allows you to skip one and back at Destiny Island. Our lock-ons allow us to not necessarily end up going for a swim. And then we head back to this. This iteration of this cave. We'll actually manipulate our camera. And we grab this mushroom. Meet up with Ansem very briefly. Disembodied Ansem's return. We hit the tree on the way down in the off chance that we get a there. aim our ship, and get ready to race Riku. After this slow camera pan across, we have one more text box and a scene skip. As soon as that text box goes away, you get it before it even cuts back to them. Climb the left here. Jump onto the slider. Don't want to put any movement inputs in while on the slider. Otherwise it will drop you off. And then head back to diary for crossing the trees a second time. Basically guarantees us the fastest possible race. And it gets us our reward. Now we our way over to see how our coconut. Answer is terrible. That's like 2 and 5. Maybe even 2 and 6. That has lost us a deep. And the combos were very high off the ground. That's definitely something that we want to go spend some time working on after we get more fully derusted on menus. But with this second bit of conversation, we'll be done with day 2. As soon as Carrie starts talking, we can skip that cutscene. After the first couple of notes of music there, we can skip that one. The second set of dumps as the door closes there. 7 total scenes skip here, most of which have audio cues or a couple of visual cues. And upward starts in that scene, you can skip it. And as soon as the second loading heart here appears, skip this one. Here we cannot control our camera angle, and as soon as Sora's foot disappears around this corner and we lose control, if that's in cutscene. Alright, that was actually a pretty good fight. And we got 2 tech points out of it. That marks us done with Destiny Islands, and off to Traverse Town 1. The game wants us to go to the accessory shop, but we say nah to that. And see a guy get murked by Heartless. Alright, that gets us 3. We need a total of 5. 5. That triggers mission as we exit the accessory shop next. go into the Leon fight. Right? Not bad, not bad. And we head over to Riku's perspective for a little bit of a peek at Hollow Bastion with him. Alright, after a couple more cutscenes, we end up in the green room with Yuffie and Don. And then we get tasked with going and fighting guard armor. Wish I could stop whiffing that hit. And we kill 3 soldiers here to get us to the XP threshold, such that we end up getting our next level up during the soldiers clear up to guard armor, so an extra strength to clear that fight a little bit faster. I'll overhear extra fires. Alright, that was a slow clear, unfortunately, but could still save some time. Yeah, not bad. The third combo I did was a mistake. Ended up getting the stagger before I wanted to, but it's what it is, and we're still up on our time, so doing things a little bit cleaner, still derusting time, and we keep on chugging. Any time save is good time save. Got 14 minutes and 2 seconds between us and our goal PB. So, got just under 10 minutes between us and a nominal. And for that menu, we take the ether off of Goofy. We equip Brave Warrior over the ribbon for Sora. And then we equip Dodge Roll. Here we strip off our excess armor and such, because armor actually affects dummies. And now we get to just AFK up in this corner on our way to Wonderland. Okay, so overall, doing alright, but that's the portion of the game that we're most comfortable with, has the least menuing, and needs me to check as little as possible on it. Still got lots and lots of time saved throughout the rest of the run, so I'm not too worried about that, but from here on out, it only gets harder. What? The hell just happened? Well, now we're losing time here. Get hit by 2 ships there. This bit of terrain. We shouldn't hit anything else for the rest of it. I'm so thoroughly confused. I'm gonna sit through this bit for a second, and then I think I might be resetting, because, like, what the hell? Because, yeah, that little, like, that death cost me a minute and change. Yeah, we're supposed to, yeah, clip through like that. So, not entirely sure what that was about, but we're heading back to the menu and getting another run going from there, because that's not supposed to happen. Color me confused. Okay. Trying it again. Like 16 minutes of my time. That's okay. I'd rather something like that happen at that stage of the game than something silly and stupid like that, kind of a 1 minute plus time loss, happen end game, where if I reset, I'm losing like an hour plus of my time investment. I could still definitely have beaten my derust time. I doubt I could have gotten actual out of it. As your foot resets, you can skip out of the cutscene for Shadows 1. Alright. Ocean bounced back behind us a little bit, so we lost a little bit of time. We did not get the movement on our backward jump, but we got the jump nonetheless, and a good barrel kill. Kids relatively quickly for our path selection. And not bad on our timing there. I doubt we're going to match our Shadows too, but we'll see. close, if not directly on it. Okay. Still pretty good. Not as good as the last time, but still pretty good. We'll still save time against the derust run. And done with that. That's not new. Yikes. Fair bit less. Bad Shadows 2 leave that. That's okay. Still less overall time lost than that dumb gummy ship. Okay. We can get better Shadows 1 and 2 than that. Definitely not screw up movement there. I'm definitely erring into bad patterns again of setting too much, which is a touch unfortunate, but it is what it is. Okay. And swing. A little slow, that's okay. Still sub 1. We take that Shadows 1. Keep on checking. As his eyes start to err towards his upper right on the diagonal. You can skip that scene. Xbox on that scene. Best disappearance, we jump backwards. Or attempt to at least. Close our distance. Box. Great. And upon landing from the combo on the barrel, we jump backwards like so. That's 1. And after a brief 1.5 seconds whiteout, hit the scene. This platform. And we choose the top option for ease and efficiency for getting Dawn route. After mashing through all of this text scroll and 1 confirmation, get cutscene skip, 3.5 seconds till this skip becomes available. Whiteout. Honestly, not a bad clear. And up the ramp we go to see Dark Side 1 again. And with that, time for a boss fight. Saved a tiny bit more time than the last time around. I think. Shadows too. On to Destiny Islands Day 1 we go. This time we are focused on our barrel toss and jump. Alright, we're not gonna. That was a little bit awkward. I short hopped off of the tree. That's not getting enough distance, but luckily I did actually grab the ladder. Otherwise that would have been about 8-10 seconds of time lost from having to climb the ladder. A little sloppy there. Had to get the ladder. Yeah, that's the thing. Star grabs all the things we don't want him to. Not grab any of them we want him to. Hold left during load in area, so as to walk directly into the water for the first fish collection. And then head back to the secret place after collecting all 3 fish. In total we need 3 fish, 3 mushrooms, 1 seagull egg, 2 coconuts, and some fresh water for days. Oh, and to win the race against Rico. Winning the race gets, well, you don't have to technically have to run the race once, finish day 2. But winning it does get us a pretty stone, and because we have to race it anyway, it is most efficient to win it just based on time, regardless of pretty stone collection anyway. That is first half of the island done. Gummy ship is now named. And now it's time for a race. Up this ladder we go. Good. That was a risky short hop that I took there. But overall, good race. Mid walk back, fade out, so they'll save optimal amount of time. There is basically a bar for how much time you can save on the run, or on the race there, because you have to have Riku within a certain radius before you get the fade out into the next scene. If you go too fast, you just end up kind of standing there like looking like a dummy. Other than some block toggling, that was pretty coconuts. Now with the bauble in hand, we collect our third and final mushroom here, and go to this little bit of freshwater outlet for our last item into our conversation with Kyrie today. Now we have 7 cutscenes. 3 at Destiny Islands, and 4 at Disney Castle. And now we are in the race to collect the key. There are 2 load hearts that end up going at scene. Once the second one disappears, you can't get the cutscene that follows with the shimmering light of sword getting heated. And then we head back to the secret place, where we find Kyrie, and she takes refuge in our heart. On the last frame before it switches perspectives, you can skip there. And after the little sound cue, alright, no reflex there, but we got a little bit of time saving, so we're gonna keep on jugging with it. As soon as it starts to look up, we get there. Get a little bit of tech smash here, and then head towards the first district. Watch him get murked into a Heartless. As soon as fade in and starts there, back cutscene. You have a single Xbox and wait for a second. Grab as many Heartless there as 3 though. And then grab our final 2 to count up the 5 here. Definitely slow on those Heartless. I think we'll be into losing some time here on the Leon fight. Depending partially on how it goes. Yeah, lost a little bit of time even with jump, which is sad. He has 2 openers. Jumps towards you, that's the more efficient move. Alternatively, he can fireball at you, but you then have to jump over and close the distance yourself, which loses you about half second to a second, I want to say. We have a couple of cutscenes here, and then we wake up in the green room with you, who we have just recently taken for Kyrie. As you know, she's talking to us from inside our heart. And now we have been tasked with going 3rd district and wrecking the heck out of guard armor. kill 3 soldiers to grab our XP. Sure that we hit our breakpoint for dark side or guard armor. Pre-guard armor soldiers fight. Yay, Donald and Goofy have now joined our party. A little slow on the clear there, that's okay. So used to throwing a potion there. And now we wait for it to do a little bit of backflip. And we save a really solid chunk of time there. The new attack pattern that I've learned on that, actually really solid for saving time and making sure that you don't get the break apart. My execution there was okay, we got knocked back at the beginning. Otherwise I think we could have pretty closely matched a segment. But hey. That is a solid fight no matter how you end up looking at it. Now we get our congratulations and some more tutorial nonsense before heading out for Wonderland. Don't forget about me. Our first bit of menuing, or second bit of menuing game. Come into the accessory shop, talk about Trinities, and then head on out. Now we get a little bit of a lecture from Chip and Dale about gummy travel, head into the gummy garage, and do a gummy ship edit. We strip away all of the auxiliary parts of the ship because gummy armor actually adds a weight which alters the speed of the gummy ship. Right. We're all the way upright. Not touching it. We should be fine this time. Got pretty close to a sub 12 on guard armor. That's honestly not bad. Okay. Get hit twice there. Okay. Run into this little bit of terrain here. Now, we should be safe all the rest of the way to Wonderland. But yeah, a sub 12 guard armor is kind of like our goal. We're about 5 seconds behind our PB base. Better guard armor by a little over 2 seconds there. Our opening is actually better than our PB. That's interesting. But our dark side 2 on both kind of meh. I do think our PB had some old splitter logic in it, so that might be a slight inaccuracy between Destiny Islands and Darkside 2. But anyway, welcome to Wonderland. Rabbit booty. And after our little chit chat with the doorknob, we push into bed and drink a potion and become wee Bobby Sora. Before heading off to the Queen's Court. tasked with finding evidence to prove the innocence of Alice. Whereupon we enter the forest, meet the Cheshire Cat, and get some cryptic information about the Heartless and everything. Hug the wall here so that we don't engage that second group of enemies that spawned there. Grab the single evidence, and then head back to fort to begin the trial. The first evidence box to drop here is the Heartless. Not 100% on which one it is, but we're picking anyway. Every other box in this case will have some combination of Donald, Goofy, or both in it. They'll end up getting accused of the crime, and we end up having to fight one way or the other. But it really just determines what party members you end up getting to have. Okay. Not a terrible fight, but a really bad loadout, honestly. I do have optional settings for splitting at the cutscene start as opposed to the fight end, because of the way that loadout can play differently, depending on MP and money collection by your party. Now we're headed to Party Garden for a single cutscene skip, off to upside down version of the Bazaar, where we're gonna light some candles to shed some light on the situation, revealing Trickmaster. Our blue menu comes back up, we jump across, you can technically dodge roll, but it's a little bit sketchy. It was less sketchy on console side, but some of the frame rate changes, whatnot, that we've seen with the PC port make things a little bit tighter on, or more open on, particular movement. We have a little bit more chat with the cat, and then our boss fight. Alright, pretty clean fight there. We'll take it. Not really any whiffed hits, a couple of clanks, but that's okay. And we get our first navigation gummy piece, with the sealing of the Wonderland keyhole and completion of the world. Cheshire Cat sees fit to gift us with Blizzard magic, even though we didn't go find all the evidence. That's the other way to actually get the Blizzard magic earlier. And we head out to Deep Jungle. We had a better Crank Tower, but a worse Trickmaster by about 2 seconds. And we're still less than a minute out from record pace, so I'm actually pretty happy with that. I can basically lose a minute per like 5 splits or so the record pace and actually get my goal. So I'm not too worried about that. My early game is objectively my best chunk of the game. I have a lot of time saved to be had in the latter portions of the game. So we'll see how things go and just keep on chugging. This will be our second full world completion single pass that we'll be doing. Because Traverse Town actually gets 4 visits. It is the most visited world in the entire run. The most that we spend at any other world is 2 visits, with Hollow Bastion and technically Monster. And very, very, very technically Neverland and Agrabah, because the gummy ship ends up passing back through them, as well as Wonderland for a gummy ship pass through. As far as like actual in-world time, just Hollow Bastion and Traverse Town. Oh my god. That was a terrible fight. There we go. I wished so many times. I probably have like 7 seconds of time save that I can get there. If not more. Alright, we touched the save. Exit the minigame. Ooh, that was close. Nope. We try and get every one of those for every one of the slides we would want to try to collect while in motion or in an animation. Because that cancels out some of the lag time that we have on transition boxes. And we use our save point to warp out, warp back in, and get us up here. This allows us to do more straightforward, quick pace movement to get into this little here. And then head back up to Clayton trying to murder Turk. As soon as I can, not be a big doofus with my movement. There we go. A little bit awkward there. That's okay. And back into the tent to here, Clayton gets bullied for, attempting murder. Head back out, and we start Power Wilds proper. Definitely sluggish on that. That was kind of spectacular as far as clears on that go. Got a synthesis material, and then we head back out for our same save warp move earlier to get us to our second group of Power Wild. Back here at Treetop. That was an okay clear on these. Get another gummy part and keep on chugging. Off to the third group at the treehouse. Do our fun little bit of movement here to get up top here. Yeah. I should have just done that earlier. Oh well. Don't want to actually pick up that item over there because that's just an extra accessory. And then eat ourselves off the cliff. That was pretty good clear on that group. And not a bad clear on those. Save some time. But definitely still have plenty of time left to save there in general. We head back to the tent to trigger another cutscene on top of our MP. And then into clearing to face support 2. Alright. Could have been better, could have been worse. Use of fires definitely makes that a little bit cleaner and more consistent. Now we head for the second use of in the world because story has blocked off our ability to use the save warp to progress to the area desired. So we interact with this plant here, start the minigame, exit the minigame, get warped to the tail end of where we close. And we back out of a giant fruit and are ready to move on to Clayton fights. Jump off here again to get the cliffs. Get our 6 hits in there. Alright. We did not get animation skip. Sloppy, but acceptable. Our PB had apparently a very bad Clayton. Or at least the one we just went up against had a very bad Clayton fight. As soon as the heart disappears there, we can actually skip again in black. Blade swing our way across and make actually good time on Waterfall Cavern. And that marks us done with Deep Jungle. Alright. Keep on moseying back to Traverse Town for TT2. All right. So we have some inbound menuing soon, but for now, we're ahead of balance, ahead of PB, surprisingly. Our waterfall cavern was that bad. Holy cow, our waterfall cavern was bad. And about 1:06 behind total from world record sum of best segments. Or wait, no, that's my sum of best. I was about to say, minute behind world record, that's definitely not a thing. Minute behind my sum of best, sure. Technically, sub 2 is still possible on this pace. I just can't lose more than 1 minute and 44 more seconds to my best segment, which is a relatively tall ask right now. I have 23 seconds I can save against my derust runs. So. My derust run actually had a slightly worse pace up to this point. Slightly better pace up to this point than at this point than my PB time, which is kind of nuts to me. That I'm already on better pace by like a noticeable amount. Alright. Welcome back to Traverse Town. We're going to make our way to the waterway via the alley. On didn't quite despawn everything, that's okay. Still got a relatively quick kill on the red Nocturne. And come in here to have a little bit of a chit chat with Sid, or not Sid, Leon. Wall / Leon. He has 2 names. I still chose one that was not actually his name. Too much information flying around in my brain all at one time. But that reveals the fate of their world and gets us the Earthshine Summon Gem. Positions us to head over to Merlin's and keep progressing the story here. Fun fact, one of the primary differences between the English and Japanese speedruns is you actually do this portion of stuff during Traverse Town 1, because you can bit of glitchiness with the explanation tutorial, source positioning therein on English, to click through bars. Source positioning in Japanese version is different, thus cannot be abused in any way. In Sora, please. Thus we have to wait until TT2, where we actually have access to Red Trinity, in order to trigger the bar's destruction. This actually costs the Japanese version a fair bit of time, but that is more than made up for in speed of text throughout the game. Once we have our bits of conversation here, we're going to go back to the accessory shop, talk to Sid, and get the 100 Acre Wood book from him, do a little bit of shopping to sell some of our excess items and build up some money, and then head back here to have another round of conversation with Merlin and Godmother. That's not the direction I wanted to go. And this is also where opposite armor technically becomes available, but it's a fight that is much easier to accomplish a little bit later once we have Guard and Ars Arcanum after Neverland. So we wait till that stage to actually end up fighting that boss. Alright, our shopping done, we warp out once more, warp back in to the mission study. That's not where we want to land. That's a couple of seconds of time lost, that's okay. Deliver the book. And then have a little chit-chat with the Fairy Godmother to have Simba reverted from a summon gem into an actual summon. That's awkward. I get blocked by a rock here. We switch out our Keyblade for Jungle King, getting us some more damage, and we swap XP necklace off of Sora, found a Goop, and replace it with White Fang that we got in Jungle. Head into the Bandit House, which is now the headquarters of the Final Fantasy gang. Have a little chit chat and an explanation more of what's going on. A bit about Maleficent, who happens to be lurking right outside. Her ears must be burning. And then we, after learning a tiny bit more information and being told that we should probably check out the Gizmo shop, we go to have another conversation with Sid, who is now the proprietor of a gummy shop instead of the accessory shop. You actually check out the accessory shop this. You find it. Nope, That's not what we want. Manned by someone else. Get a freebie gummy there. Buy the Fire Gummy and the Haste Gummy. Expedite our travel a bit. Come out here and do a bit of gummy menuing. Didn't save nearly the time I wanted on that, but that's okay. And now we warp to Wonderland and normal drive from Wonderland. The reason we do this is the distance between world and the warp hole is drastically larger between Traverse Town and the warp, and between Wonderland. We now have Haste Gummy, which allows us to boost during our missions. With this stage of Gummy, we actually kind of hold down the boost button the entire time. There isn't any time where it would be through load zones, really, for this charge rate and the speed at which we're going. That does not hold up to be true once we change out our engine and add the 2 later. That one charges at such a rate and we move at such a rate that we end up potentially having full charges available to us when speed doesn't actually end up impacting your completion of the gun route. Because when you go into position areas like this one right here, boosting doesn't actually end up doing anything. It's a straight up load that just kind of have to wait. But with all of that said and done, we're on to Ring 2 of Worlds and Agrabah. We're off to find a princess. Excess dodge roll there was awkward, that's okay. Who we find in this strange bit of alley. Get informed that she's been helped by Aladdin. And Jafar is very interested in the fact. We now head our way over to Aladdin's house to free Carpet, who ends up heading out to the desert to await us for an escort to go assist him. Touch the save for warping later and grab the Mega Elixir out of the chip. Thank you very much for the luck. Light. And yeah. Very slow clear on those, unfortunate, but it is what it is. We used too many blizzards on the first wave and cleared them in awkward fashion. We warp out the full closet there and head back directly into Aladdin's house for a little bit of chit chat. We'll stop driving the pole. Trying to practice for his desired career path of being a pole dancer. And that was Black Fungus. awkward, but still slightly faster than having left the room. I need to remember to just fire him from this side moving forward. What is the camera doing? And we shortcut through Aladdin's house because loads are fast. And head to the palace gates. A little bit of an encounter with Jafar, Jasmine, and Centipede. Honestly, okay fight. Could have been better, could have been worse. My movement and everything leading up to them to save Aladdin itself were kind of terrible, so... Oh my word. You guys need to get out of my way. And now it's time for the Cave of Wonders. We have a decent chunk of time available to us for the cave here. And we're going to do our best to actually get it. And that's not how you do it. This is still unfortunate. Probably losing about a minute. Oh my god. Yeah, that's just gonna be a reset. Oh god. How is Tiger Head being one of my most painful splits right now? Okay. Deep breaths. We made it into mid-game without any major fumbles, decently quickly. Our combos are still not amazing, but we're working on it. Definitely still mash a bit too much for them. Okay. A little slow, barely over 1. We're about 2 to 3 seconds behind where we'd like to be. But this one we're making a no reset because we need to actually get complete runs in because most of our practice needs to be game. Bounced really far forward. No jump, but okay combo. We're about 8 seconds behind where we'd like to be. Get close to 5. This shadow spread is freaking terrible. Yeah. Wonder if anybody's available to race me. That'll keep me honest. Okay. We're going to just hang out here for a moment. I'm going to go AFK and grab some water and go to the bathroom. And I will be right. we are back. And going to jump back into this in just a moment. You know, when your fingertips get really messed up from like getting dry or working or something like that, it often leads to not really being able to use print recognition on phones. Alright. Popping right back into it. Alright. Make our weapon selections for choice and forfeit. And keep on chugging. Was pretty late on that second skip there. Not a super big deal. Oh, I love it when I end up over here. That's the type of low air combo we want to be pulling off on basically everything. But, you know, not that great at doing that. We're working on it. I do think I can get my target time without necessarily, like, really getting those down, but it would definitely help. That's going to spawn the barrel onto the right side. And we got our backwards jump, so yay. And we've made our path selections. The choices here determine what your EXP curves are going to be throughout the game. Dawn Route gives you better XP curves for early in the game. Dusk Route gives you better XP curves for late in the game. There's the middle route, which kind of evens things out across the board. But for the purposes of speedrunning in general, we want to be on a Dawn Route unless we're doing something like flat, where we need to... oh my god. This is garbage shadows. That was freaking terrible. For something like plat where we actually care about our level hitting max, then you actually want something like Dusk Route, so that you get late game leveling curves better. You can optionally not do the defense ups here, but they add a layer of protection on bosses that, if you're not super clean on fast comboing and such, makes it so you're less likely to time just dying. Alright, losing time there is not great, but we'll make up for it. Our mashing was a little slow, our shadows 2 were kind of terrible, and overall just a meh start. Thank you for the luck, Flounder. Hope you're doing okay today. And congrats again on the other night. Oh, had a run all the way into Agrabah earlier, which was actually doing pretty good, especially compared to my first derust here. But then I fell off of Tiger Head because, you know, dumb. I shouldn't necessarily be resetting to something like that, but it's just a time loss that feels so bad when you fall off right at the start of that fight. Can't get back on. And just loses you so much. That's what I get for not really playing this game for like a year straight. That's unironically been one of the biggest struggles I've had. Aside from just, you know, poor comboing. I really should take time and just sit and do the globe practice hit setup for a while, just till I get that a little bit more ingrained. Because that's not something I've ever really invested time into, which I think is part of why I've never really been good at air comboing. I've never really gotten the feel for it. Or, you suck. No Tass. Well. For the air combos, you're saying? Same too, I would assume. I mean, I've watched your runs. You actually do perfectly fine on air combos. Like mine, I can't even really get the 6-hit itemless Maleficent, which is one of the easier things to do with air combos. And the other, like, major one that I feel like hurts me is not being able to do air combos really on Anti-Sora. Like, the air combos on Anti-Sora can save you so much time in that one slit alone. It's kind of nuts. Although realistically, best segment-wise, my two of my biggest potential time saves are on Behemoth 1 and 2, so Arc Behemoth. Like those two splits by themselves against Violin's best segments. My best segment to his, each one has 50 seconds. One of them is actually closer to 55. Jeez, that's a bad coconut. Well, don't think I'm necessarily saving time here, thanks to coconut RNG. That's okay. Funny thing is that last run that I was on actually had a better time coming out of Waterfall Cavern than my PB by like a couple of seconds because of just how bad Waterfall Cavern was on my PB. Okay. Alright, time for Dark Side 2. I've been seeing people shortcut that corner onto the rooftop by a lot recently, and I'm just like, it seems so risky for what could potentially be just a like reset time loss. Like, I understand, like, everybody's out here to save as much time as they can, but resetting like 9 minutes of run for what is effectively a like fraction of a second of time save seems a little wasteful. Definitely not my best Dark Side 2, but we'll take it. We're ahead of our first derust run, and we're gonna just do it that way. As best we can, that is. The funny thing is our derust run actually has a best segment for ourselves in the Invisible Core. Means I'm basically not going to be that anytime soon. Four. Five. Just never reset. I mean, there's some truth to that. Honestly, like, removing the option to like easily reset for myself might be one of the best calls I could make at this point. I don't know what I was doing with that pause there. Don't ask me. Alright, pretty good, Leon. I definitely am a like reset fiend. That number is of 8 is not indicative of how many times I've actually tried yet. I've only really had one completed run and one partial, like halfway run so far. So the other 6 of those are all just resets. And that's from last night and today alone. Alright. Clean clear on those soldiers. Let's try and clear the second patch here just as fast. One can read it. Alright, that was it was okay, not great, not bad. So used to that. Dagger there. Makes that more awkward. Do your little flip, my guy. Come on. Split apart was awkward. But we still save a decent chunk of time here because our derust run had garbage for guard armor. Sagaste. kind of wish you get English text along with the Japanese voices, because that's the version I would play for like a casual playthrough. Alright, Jiminy says his 2 bits, and we get on our way. There we go. And we have our little Trinity chit-chat. And head out to the Gummy Garage. Okay, pretty decent gummy menu. Off to Wonderland. And AFK time. But, yeah. I'm 40 seconds down on my sum of best and 14 down on my PB. A lot of that can be made up later, and will be made up later. I think if all goes well, I could still be ahead of PB coming out of Waterfall Cavern again, just because of how bad that was on PB. But our goal is not to beat our PB right now. Our goal is really just to beat the derust run that we're going against right now, which is that 214. The 204.33 is the actual PB. That's our sum best. That's balanced. I think ideally I'd like to get to the phase like to get to the phase of eliminating the derust run and just have the PB run that we're going against, and include another set of comparison for Island's sum of best. But onward to Wonderland. Sad truth of it is, kind of regardless of anyone I would race, the crapshoot as to whether or not I would have a better or worse time than them. Because of the people that are relatively active with this game, I have people that are distinctly faster than me and people that are distinctly slower than me. None of the people in my like relative bracket are particularly active right now. All right, time for box picking. Don't think this is right, but we're gonna try. I think it might have been the middle. Yeah, it's goofy. I have a really bad habit of getting goofy specifically. That was actually a very good fight there. Alright. I remember the days where we would actually end up picking up an item in that room. That seems so wasteful now. That's terrifying. And a waste of time. If you touch anything that isn't gray slant in this room or these platforms, you spawn enemies. Which means you lose the opportunity to do interactions, which is pretty much everything we do in this room. Have the 2 interactions with the lamps and then the interaction with that hatch there. Card, you're in the way. Two neutral rolls and a little bit of a forward jump gets us up to the table. A little sluggish on that fight, unfortunately. Had some bad clanks, missed the initial hit, but honestly, not too bad. Overall, I'm trying to skip cutscenes that aren't actually skippable. They're just plain text. Just bad. Not going back to the menu. Thank you very much. Okay. $16 ahead of balance. 11.5 behind PE. And 50 behind some best. And off to deep jungle we go. All right. Deep jungle time. Terrible Sabor fight. supposed to go? Interesting. Oh my god. Floppy slide collection, but that's okay. Alright. Warp on out, back in. And head off to meet your check. And Clayton tries to murder Kirk. We say, not today. Clayton gets scolded by Jane. You shouldn't murder gorillas. We're here to study them. Alright, well, that's an okay clear. Out, we're back in. It could have been better, could have been worse. That one was okay. And that one's pretty solid. Okay. And that one's not bad. Saved a bit of time. And we roll into our corner, back out. And Clayton fires his gun for the last time, being a human being. Okay, honestly, I'll take it. Not too shabby. And any game time. And get our 15 hits in on the fruit. Oh, that one good. And off to the ifs we go. Alright, well, almost got the combo. A little awkward, that's okay. It'll take a little bit of time. Definitely not going to be ahead of PB on this one, but that's okay. Still a decent chunk of time save on the cavern climb itself. That is Deep Jungle wrapped up. We do a little bit of collection here and then head our way back to Traverse Town for Traverse Town 2. Here we go again. Alright. Pace-wise, we're looking okay. Yeah, we're 10 seconds behind PB. Honestly, not bad. Even though there's a 10-minute difference between our PB and our derust run, we will take that. And we're 33 up on balance, so we are looking good for sub 10, I think. Minute and a half behind some best. Probably in the neighborhood of 3 to 3.5 behind world records on best, and or just world record in general. Be my guesstimate. but that's very loosely based. I didn't want to do that. Awkward. Oh well, it didn't actually grant a gummy piece, so okay. And now we AFK in this corner for a bit. And check in on messages and such. Okay, so overall, going okay. Going better than last night's full run, which is somewhat to be expected, but also just nice. I figure we might be able to pull up to like a minute and a half ahead by the end of Agrabah. We'll find out. I know we have a decent chunk of time to save on this split, but that boils down to a lot of movement. Movement. I honestly think I lose more time to floppy movement than to like comboing in fights for the most part. Well, that's not entirely true. I lose a lot of time to fights. I need to hand stop that. God damn it. That's a time loss. Oh well. Alright, not saving the 23 that I had. I could still potentially save like maybe 15 if everything goes well. That awkward moment when the adults hand you this thing saying, hey, here's this thing, it'll probably be helpful. You ask how the heck to use it, and what it does. They're like, oh, fuck if I know. We just love overly helpful adults. Oh my god, stones. Not. Game is freaking me out, yo. Okay. This is one of those sections in my VOD that will end up getting muted, unfortunately, really need to find music modding so that I can swap out the tracks. Alright, Merlin said his 2 bits, the fairy godmother says a chunk of stuff, and then we head back to the accessory shop, where we will get a book from Sid, more instructions, some story advancement, and then sell a bunch of our junk for some extra money. Okay, lots of text progression here. And back out we go. We do our little bit of book delivery services. Call him Kiki. He be delivering. And we're also trying to murder the fairy godmother, as per usual. And straight into the water we go. Of course you would, Last Rock. There we go. A little sloppy on the menu, that's okay. We get to say hey to our buddy Riku. It's all mopey that we have new friends. Look, more friends is never a bad thing. None of them are acting as replacements for you, my dude. Plus, have you, like, seen Donald? He's kind of a dick. Like, why Sora keeps this duck around? Nobody knows. Alright. Only saved 9, but still. Alright. And a pretty good menu. And we warp. Okay. That's not what we... I know what I'm freaking doing, guys. other than randomly going into Wonderland, wasting my own time. Got roughly 15 seconds of potential time save here. I just cut out like 3 seconds of that by going into the world. I'm pretty sure I have more than that overall against like violins, but hard to say exactly how much without having the actual comparison to go against. Time to say hey to Princess Jasmine. Lets us know that Aladdin's been helping her out. Jafar is very interested. The actual plot of Aladdin is that Jafar is really into Aladdin himself, and is super jelly of Jasmine. Vacate me. Alright, that was actually pretty good. That last combo finisher, hitting that bandit for the kill, was pretty clutch. Pawn out, head over to Aladdin's house. Second option here. Smash through a little bit of text conversation. Fall right in position. Terrifying. Get out of myself. Little sloppy, but okay. And just drop on in on Jafar and Jasmine. Not actually make it all the way back out, fortunately, so I do have a single rune transition to go. Gonna kill about half of that time save. Oh my god, Air Soldier, please. God, that was fucking terrible. Oh, I really need to practice that fight, apparently. The first eye kill is actually not bad. Got my little platform skip there at least. Really? Alright, well this fight's garbage. Jesus Christ. Well, that's what that was. But we can technically make it all back up on this fight. This is why we switch Aladdin. Instead of having fricking Dolan. Wow, okay. Alright. Well, I apologize for the brief disconnect. But it is what it is, and we're back to saving some time. The far fight was freaking trash. Not swapped for Aladdin, which makes life harder. But we got stoned, and fallen, and fired. Like you do. That's not